The coronavirus is affecting so many areas of our community, including companies and nonprofits that count on volunteers. Today, we're talking with Danielle Hawley, CEO of Common Impact. Thanks for talking with us.
Of course.
Danielle, what would you tell to people about volunteerism and why it's so important?
Volunteerism is, a lot of people don't know this, but it's a $167 billion industry, and it is a critical part of so many nonprofits' workforce, particularly organizations that are dealing with food delivery and homeless shelters. It's a critical way of the way they do business.
Now, we have a question that's coming in from Text Team 12, and I think a lot of people have this question. How can people volunteer while staying safe? What would you tell them?
There are a ton of ways to volunteer virtually and from the safety of your home. Pro bono volunteering, skills-based volunteering is one of them. And you can go to commonimpact.org to find out how, or pointsoflight.org to find out how. There are so many platforms where you can sit at your desk and volunteer your skills, your expertise, and your time to organizations that really need you right now.
Yeah, and I know we had another question on Facebook. Melissa asked, how old do you have to be?
You should be about 18 years of age if you're not accompanied by a parent, and you can do that virtually. And there are virtual opportunities that are as light touch as half an hour of your time to translate a brochure or to support an organization in figuring out how to run its operations. One site for individuals who are younger is volunteermatch.org. They have volunteering of all sorts.
Where do people start? Maybe they want to get back, but they've never volunteered before, so they're not sure how to navigate that.
I would recommend going to pointsoflight.org. Points of Light is a national nonprofit that focuses on volunteer and service and can help you figure out, regardless of your age, regardless of where you are, and just wanting to get started, to see what organizations need your support and how you can help.
So many ways to help out. Thanks for sharing some of those today.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Again, Danielle from Common Impact.